Hi. Today we have simulating a reef. What am I talking like? Today we have simulating a reef for 100 days. I just want to see what. I like watching his videos because it's like you have a lot of time on your hands. 100 days. Like, what do you do?
Within this tank lives a miniature world. Animals will adapt, partnerships will form, and life must face Mother Nature.
All right, let's start off. Fun fact of the video: did you know that clownfish are technically transgender because in their colonies, areas, or whatever, the strongest, or the oldest, strongest, whatever it is, clownfish, male clownfish, becomes a girl, and then he has to get banged by the second strongest. It's crazy.
The ocean
wonder if we're gonna
is
see
a
that.
dangerous place, but despite all odds, some animals have evolved to survive. It transformed from a barren wasteland into a thriving ecosystem. To understand the mysteries within, we must go back to day one, where it began with the tank, some rock, and a whole lot of sand. The water was initially cloudy, but as it began to clear, it revealed a hauntingly beautiful landscape.
Does he just buy these? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure how YouTube taxes work because I don't get paid for YouTube. But we want to understand things that are used for the business can be used as write-offs. So, is this all a write-off? Can you just write off sand, coral, tank? If so, like this dude gets a lot of views on his videos. So he's saving a lot of money. Jesus.
It was entirely lifeless, so I introduced plankton, the bottom
How do you
of the
find
ocean.
those?
Over the first 10 days, I did nothing but let them multiply. Plankton may not look like much, but they are the foundation to all life on our planet. So they're kind of a big deal. On day 12, I introduced macroalgae. They are the equivalent to an underwater plant. They are covered in tiny snails and even the occasional starfish. Together, in tiny snails and even the occasional
That's not. That's not a starfish. That's like about. That's a black hole fish. Bad joke. But anyway, star. That doesn't even look. I mean, kind of look like a star. But Lord, that looks like the star that's gonna like eat everything.
starfish. Together, the plankton and algae will fuel the fire of life in the aquarium, starting with hermit crabs.
Lord.
Most of them explored the tank for
Like when like animals talk to each other, right? 'Cause I'm assuming he got all these hermit crabs from the same beach, tank, or the same place, right? Do they be like, dude, where are we? Where are we? You feel what I'm saying? I'm not even sure I made them to a joke, but you ever think of just talking to each other like, did we just move? Did this dude just move us into a bowl?
pieces of debris and algae. Some of them were quite large, while this guy is smaller than the head of a penny. But this one had another idea. He was on the hunt for a new shell.
Ooh, I like that. Bro, being a crab has to be like one of the most interesting things ever. Because you just go around, like once you go up, you move out of your shell, and then you just get to pick a new one. Do you think they like have like references when it comes to shells? Like, you know what I'm saying? I like the way that one was shaped, but that one has a good echo. Do you think they just like, think about it like that, or the more of a he just sees what he wants and then kind of just takes it?
Maybe this one will do. He had to inspect it for size, shape, and
All right. I like it. I like it.
quality. And then he made the move.
Jesus.
A perfect fit. We'll use this shell as a home for many months to come. By day 20, the snail population began to boom. They were taking over the rockwork, the glass, and even began climbing out of the aquarium.
Jesus Christ.
Many of them harassed the hermit crabs, and
I don't got nothing to say.
the glass was covered in eggs. I had to stop them. It was time to introduce
Abortion.
a snail
Abort.
predator. Meet the pistol shrimp, an expert snail hunter. I added him into the tank, but there is
Let's call him. Let's call the pistol shrimp Fawn.
the catch. He is
We
completely
gotta see him.
blind, and the hermit crabs may try to eat him.
Dang.
He was outnumbered 10 to 1. He needed protection, and that is why he is not alone. These are goby fish. They have incredible eyesight and will protect him with their lives. In return, the shrimp will build them a home. But after adding them into the tank, they seem to have all vanished. But underground, they were building a fortress.
Why though? Like, how do they just like meet and then know to like, oh wait, we're gonna work. Let's help that guy out. Is it like an instinctual thing?
They were safe. They were home.
The door's open.
Finished dishwasher.
Meanwhile, above ground, the rock was looking barren and empty. It was time to introduce coral. They may just look like colorful rock, but with time, they begin to emerge.
That's nasty. I wonder what it smells like. But ew, kind of just. Yes.
Coral serves as a refuge to life on the reef, and this jewel coral is no different. It is covered in holes that are home to a very special kind of worm.
The worm inside of a hole. Seems familiar. Bro, I'm not. I haven't recorded a reaction in a long time, so bear with me. But worm in a hole, seen that before.
Christmas tree worms. They use colorful feathers to catch food passing by. But when they get scared,
Damn.
they
Like
disappear
clockwork.
right back into the coral.
I can. All you gotta do is like put your finger in there and just. They're not hiding.
Even added a few fish who will use the coral as a hunting ground and hideout. But in the evening, many of the coral began to close.
They're little spiders. Ew.
The fish went into hiding, and night finally fell.
I said it before, but it's crazy how all this is gonna be like a tax write-off.
The tank may look empty, so I got a dead anchovy.
Yeah. That just seems kind of random, bro. Right, huh? They just want to go sleep. Jesus.
This fish has an irresistible smell that fills the aquarium.
What's that?
Zombie snails. They are attracted to the smell of blood.
I mean, maybe it was alive and then he killed it. Sure.
Pretty soon, the anchovy was completely surrounded.
Bones?
Even the hermit crabs joined in. All
Oh, gee. If you don't, like, we never think about it, or I never think about it, but worms and snails, like, eat. Like, in Turbo, the movie, like, finding out snails had mouths is one of the weirdest things. I never thought they had a mouth in real life. And then it's like, how do they eat? They have to have a mouth. You just never think about it, because you never see them, like, open it. You feel me?
All this commotion attracted something even bigger. A leopard snail. He is a snail-eating snail, and the top predator.
I can't. But anyway, is he fast? Like, I get it. He's called a leopard snail because of the patterns on his shell. Wait, do snails change shell? Anyway, like, is he faster than a regular snail because he's like a predator?
In these waters,
How do you
but in
not
this
hear
case,
him?
he was just after the anchovy. He uses a retractable.
Bro, that has to be like the happiest day of your life. Imagine your op, like bigger and stronger than you, had more like, you know what I'm saying, pew pews than you, pulls up on you at McDonald's. They see you eating, and they just decide to order their food and leave you. But like the other snails, they have to go before this snail like wants more food.
Mouth to puncture the
Jesus.
skin.
Suction.
After a few hours, it was like nothing ever happened.
Hungry little boys.
I didn't want to be.
By day 40, life was in full swing.
That looks like a couch.
The pistol shrimp spent all day digging out their burrow, while the gobies
pistol shrimp.
guard. Meanwhile, the algae was.
Bro, imagine having like goons just naturally. Like, you didn't do nothing. You're not a rich rapper. You're not like a person that's successful. You're just a shrimp that just, as soon as those two like a certain type of fish sees you, they're like, oh yeah, we gonna rock with you. Like, whatever you need, we got you, big bro. Like, you're just an automatic OG big bro.
Growing rapidly. It was outgrowing the tank and taking over the rockwork. That is why I introduced a sea urchin. He will spend his whole life grazing on algae and keeping it at bay. But he was stopped in his tracks by a hermit crab.
How does it know? I'm pretty sure I saw a video. They don't have eyes, so they're just like censored. Ooh, that's an op, like just sense ops or something. What you looking
This
at?
hermit crab became a little too curious and went for a ride. Still, something in the aquarium was a little bit off. All of the coral began to close, and animals were taking shelter. They were doing so for good reason. I was about to simulate a hurricane.
How would they know? Are you just like putting indicators in the water, or is it just a straight up hurricane type activity? because that kind of seems faulty.
The storm left behind a dust cloud. The water column was filled with dirt and debris. But all of this debris was going to be food for sponges.
Nah, he a better man than me. He over here trying to simulate it properly. I'm just shake the whole aquarium and see what happens. SpongeBob. You know what's crazy? It's actually like SpongeBob's grandma.
They use hundreds of holes on their body to filter out the water. But this sponge is not like the rest.
That's a crab. Bro, you're gonna tell me right here and right now that this is supposed to be a sponge?
Began to move.
That's a crab.
That's because it is a sponge crab. He is in disguise. Unlike the sponges, he will not help filter the water. It was still cloudy and full of debris. That is why I added feather duster worms. They use these feathers on their head to filter and clean the water. But if they sense
How? That doesn't even logically make sense. Well, unless it's like a thing where they absorb it and then shoot it up. But that it will still end up in the water. Unless they absorb it, where does it go?
danger, they can vanish.
Why? Is it alive?
By day 72, the reef had become a refuge for many forms of life.
She just put a shark in there. No, just to make it a little bit more interesting.
Every animal has its own role to play, and every animal has its own story to tell. For example, this sea slug was on a mission. I started with 3 of them, and now she is the last of her kind.
Damn.
But it was
That's
not
been
her
right.
fate to die alone. She climbed to the top of the aquarium, where she began to lay. She created a spiral of hundreds and hundreds of eggs in
Why does she just know how to do that? Like, that's my main thing with animal videos or like videos I watch about nature and stuff. Like, I'm not sure unless it came in there, unless the mom snail teaches the daughter snail what to do when she has kids, or is it just like natural? Like, okay, I don't know, I feel like in a squirrel mood, like they get pregnant and then just like in a squirrel mood to lay eggs. That makes sense. Like, how do you know?
hopes of raising the next generation. Meanwhile, I decided to introduce an anemone. It is huge, it is destructive, it is a lot like my mother-in-law.
Anemone. Anemone. What's that?
Anemones are deceptively beautiful. Each tentacle packs a lethal sting that it uses to hunt. Watch what happens if I...
Unless it only works on animals, but he just bare-handed that.
give it a fish. It pulls the fish to its mouth, where it will be swallowed whole. In a few hours, there will be nothing left but a pile of bones. The other fish must be extremely careful, or they will become a meal as well. But there is a
Bro, that fish saw that and was like, nope.
fish that is immune to the deadly sting. Meet the clownfish. They have a special slime.
Anemone is what Nemo was in. I remember. And also, did you know that apparently, allegedly, barracudas don't even eat clownfish eggs? The parents eat clownfish eggs. And according to theories, Nemo's mom is the one who ate all other kids.
Coat on their skin to protect them from the anemone. Within seconds of adding them in,
That's the crazy part, because what I understand about evolution is that once something becomes harder or something keeps on happening to a certain animal, like giraffes had to get longer necks to eat instead of just eating grass, but that's a topic for another day. Like, how do you evolve to get poison resistance? You feel me? Because the ocean is big, from what I understand. So you're telling me your ancestor, the whole lineage, just had to get poisoned before you understood, before you got decided to move. But you didn't move. You decided to keep getting poisoned until you just unlocked a resistance to it.
they form an unbreakable bond. The anemone protects the clownfish, and in return, the clownfish will feed and keep it clean. During the day, the tank seems like a peaceful paradise. But as day sets to night, that all begins to change. All the fish are hiding, and for good reason.
Shark.
I added in some dead shrimp to bring out the nightlife. The snails emerged for their ritual hunt, and so did something new.
Bro, that looks like Hanzo the Salamander's salamander. I'm not pulling up a picture because I just don't want to, but it does.
Some animals
Jesus.
are just better left a mystery.
Jesus Christ.
On day 94, the reef was ready for a new predator.
Shark.
Meet the hawkfish.
Damn.
He is an ambush predator. After adding him into the tank, he began the hunt.
The hawk and down fish. The hawk and down. I like that. The hawk and down fish. Let's call him. Take it.
That is enough food for the day. Now as the sun began to set, the coral put on a show.
Oh.
They light up the night to attract plankton.
Bro, that's so funny just to think about. It's like, just imagine plankton talking to each other like, oh, that's shiny. Like, bro, that's really shiny. I'm gonna touch it. Bro, don't touch it. Are they gonna eat you? No, they won't. Look at them. They're plants. So obviously, they're high because this seems like an obvious trap. It's like, nah, bro, they're plants, bro. Plants don't be eating for real. You know what I'm saying? They do be eating, bro. They be eating us for real. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna touch it. Then like the other plankton just kind of get eaten. It's like, dog you.
There was a feeding frenzy. They were not the only ones to glow. The plankton do as well.
Ooh.
It is one of the most breathtaking displays on our planet, and it made me realize that coral reefs in the wild must be even more beautiful. Or so I thought. Over half our coral have left. There is thousands you should definitely check out.
Well, anyway, that will be the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye-bye.